Hello, this is Jen Rubin, and this is Jen Rubin's Green Room. Before we get to this week's guest, I want to talk once more about the media, or the failure of the media, or the expected failure of the media. We're about to embark on two stories. One is the impeachment attempt by the Republicans, lacking any factual basis whatsoever to impeach President Biden. And the second is the shutdown threat, which should be odd to your ear because, after all, the Republicans made a deal during the debt negotiations that was supposed to take care of spending for the foreseeable future. And in fact, the Senate has been complying with that on a bipartisan basis and is about to put out spending bills that will take us through the next fiscal year. What is the media going to do? Are they going to play the usual whataboutism? Are they going to play the usual fake balance? You could expect stories like the following. The White House claims there's no evidence against Joe Biden. Well, it doesn't just claim. There is no evidence against Joe Biden. Or try this one. There's no direct evidence to implicate Joe Biden. There's no evidence at all. Why the direct? You see, the media has this inborn aversion to what they think is taking sides, but is really telling the truth. They somehow feel compelled to tilt the story a little bit so that the Republicans don't seem so insane, so reckless, so determined to weaponize government, to borrow a phrase. And why is that? Part of that is the phenomenon that the Republicans are very good at working the refs. They have beaten up on the media for liberal bias. And part of it is just this inborn thing, this inborn habit that they have, that they cannot bear to unbalance, in their view, the scales. The problem is that the scales are already unbalanced. You have a Republican Party that is attempting to impeach a Democratic president for no reason. The ostensible purpose is that Biden somehow benefited from his son's business ventures when Biden was vice president. The first problem you'll notice is none of this occurred during his presidency. So what are they doing impeaching him for that? But moreover, there has been no evidence that Biden ever received any money. All the documents that they've subpoenaed have come to naught. Their star witnesses have confessed they really don't have any evidence that Biden benefited. So what is this all about? Yes, his son has gotten into a lot of trouble over the years. But what does this have to do with Joe Biden? And the answer is nothing. But the press is going to play this, mark my words, as a somehow legitimate inquiry. After all, it's just an inquiry, they say. Well, what happened to the vote that Speaker McCarthy said they were going to take prior to launching the inquiry? Oh, it didn't happen. That's because even among Republicans, they don't have a majority to proceed. That's how strange, how reckless, how inappropriate this exercise is. And this, once again, will be a test as to whether the media can stand up to Republicans, can level with the American people, and tell the truth. You'd think that that wouldn't be so hard, but it is. And then we come back to the shutdown. The government runs out of money September 30th. And at that point, they have to cease all operations except for national security and some emergency services. So what's going to happen? I suspect that the Republicans are going to continue to stamp their foot, to say that deal we made with the debt ceiling, we really didn't get enough concessions from the White House, so we're going to hold out for even more. Or worse, we want a whole bunch of concessions on a bunch of other stuff, like abortion. How is the press going to portray that? They could, on one hand, say, oh, the parties are at loggerheads. Oh, the White House is refusing to budge from their position. Well, yes, they're refusing to budge from a position that was negotiated and deal with this very same speaker. It's a deal that the Republicans in the Senate apparently are taking seriously, and they're going through the appropriation process. So once again, are we going to level with the American people? I say to my media friends, are we going to portray the Republicans accurately, as reckless, as dishonest, or are we going to pretend that they're more sane than they really are? And I'll end with one other issue that is going on right now, and that is the holdup on promotions within the military. As many of you know, the senator from Alabama, Tommy Tuberville, who had a distinguished career as a football coach, no political, no governmental experience, has decided to hold up every single promotion. That's everyone from the commandant of the Marines to the lieutenant looking for his captain's bars and everybody in between. And why is he doing this? Because he wants a vote on, you guessed it, an extreme abortion measure that does not have the support to pass in the Senate or the House. And what's happening? The entire military is being held at bay. And it's not only them, it's their families. They don't know where to move to. They don't know where they're going to be stationed. They don't know where to enroll their kids. And why is this going on? It's because Republicans don't have the nerve to rein in their own people. They are going to let this guy hold up the military, which the military keeps telling us is adverse to our national security, because they don't have the guts to wrestle with him and to wrestle him to the mat. Now, I will acknowledge one thing. Democrats could change this if they wanted. They, after all, do have a majority in the Senate. They could end the single voter, the single member bar on appointments. But they don't really have the guts to either. And that's been a disappointment. And I think in some sense, although this is a Republican hang-up, Democrats need to play hardball, and they should be willing to take the step and take away this privilege, even if it's just for the military. Are they going to be the party of national security? Are they going to be the party that stands up to Tommy Tuberville? I hope so. So stay tuned.